Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the World Away, and we've now got the infamous issue 91 of D'Agostini's Build Your Own R2-D2. Okay, this is infamous in a lot of ways, and that is, I understand, putting the legs together, which we're going to be doing in this one, onto the actual main frame unit is a bit of a pain. But when I got the magazine, I didn't realise how much there is to do. I mean, check this out. We have got one page of just story and stuff. Then, tells you what we got coming. And then we've got all of this, which is basically putting the switches and sensors into the front foot plate, using these bits here that we had from last time. Just these three bits here. Put them to one side again. Then we're going to be putting a caster wheel on the bottom of that foot plate. Then we're going to be putting the base on the bottom of the foot plate. And then we'll have the foot plate completed. Then the infamous bit of putting the legs together onto the side of the frame. And I'm going to show you some tips how to do that really easily. And then we will have it looking like that. We've got a little tool to make, which is this little black thing here, which will enable us to put these little bits in. We're going to need this one that comes with it, and also this one, which came from issue 4, I believe. So we've got two of them to put in. Put them over there. And then we've got the base plate that we're going to be putting in, which was from last time, which again, I think I've got this down here somewhere. Yep, this bit here. That's going in. So let's put that right over the far side for the minute. And then we're going to be putting the foot plate and attaching it. So at the end of this, we're going to have something looking pretty amazing like that. Now, as you can see, I've laid out everything that we've got in this issue. But we've got tons and tons and tons of screws. So I thought it would be a little bit beneficial for you is if I put this slide up here, which I've made to show you all the screws that we're using in this issue. There's one little batch there that you can see that we're not using in this one. So you can differentiate the different kinds of screws, because you don't like playing the D'Agostini Guess the Screw game. I know you don't. So I thought I'd make things a bit easier for you so you can ensure you're using the right screws on this part of the build. But I think we need to get cracking on this, because my aim is to get this under 30 minutes. But whether we can do that or not, who knows? Let's find out. Okay, so step one, we have to undo this little switch thing as we've got here. And as you can see, you've got two little switches here, which are going to make a bumper bar at the front foot of the R2 unit. We've got a red side and we've got a blue side. Now, these are going to be going in, if I just bring this over here, into these front little bits here. Now, in the magazine, they put the red side into the right-hand side here. And you need to put them in a certain way. So when you put them in, they just fit. You've got two little holes here fitting over these two pins here. You just line them up to those holes, just like so, and then you're going to be pushing down. So let's get the first one in. Bada bing. And when you push them in, you hear that click as they go in. So that's that one in. We're going to do the same on the other side, just like this. Lining them up is probably the hardest bit on this bit. So you'll know you got it up because it will start to slip in, and then you get the joy of pushing it down like that, and it clicks in just like that. So then you've got these two bumper bars on the front. As you see, they click, but that's how it should be looking, just like that. Okay, once we've done that, nice easy bit that is, we need to undo another bit of wire, which is this orange and yellow wire, which is great for me because I'm normally colourblind and can't see these. And I think I'm going to have a problem undoing this one. This one's been done up really tight already. Oh my God, what's going on here? Okay, let's just cut this one off, I think. Sorry for that little cut. There we go. We've cut that off there because we're going to be putting the little sensor, which is going into the front just on these two bits here. So we get the sensor out. This is what it looks like. As you can see, you've got a little place for the wire to attach here. We've got a little hole at the top. So this can only go in one way. When this goes in, obviously the bulbs are going to be facing down. It's going to be going in just like that. But before we do that, we want to connect this wire up. Now this wire has got a small section and a large section. It's the small section that's just going to fit into this. So let's put that in now. Make sure you put it in the right way. So there we go, nice and tight, and that's in just like that. So once again, as I said, we're going to put that face down just like that, and in that hole there we're going to put our first screw, which is a 2.3 by 6mm, one of the old faithfuls that we've been using on this one, just into this center hole here. So let's put that in now. I noticed my hand was getting in the way then. I don't want that. Now when you're screwing it in, you need to make sure you've lifted the bottom up. See, I'm not pushing the bottom down. The reason for that is obviously these bulbs are coming just out the bottom there. You don't want them to be flying all over the place. But that is how that looks when it's screwed in. So that's step 8 and 9 completed. Now step 10, we need to put some little plastic bits over these bits to stop these falling out. And that's what these bits here are for. We've got one there and we've got one here. And the way they go in is basically the L shape facing downwards. So it's going to be facing down and it's going to be going on just this side here for this side, and on the other side just like that on that side. Now when they put them in the magazine here, they put the wires over the top of these, so they haven't trapped the wire underneath. As you can see, they've had it sort of like that with this wire going over the top. Don't know if that's right or not, but I'm just having a double check again. Yep, they've definitely got the wire going over the top. So that's what I'm going to copy there, just like you see there. Let's put it a little bit more centered to the camera. Now, these are going to be put down again with the 2.3 by 6mm screw. So let's get them in now as well. There you go. I'll just cut away just for a second there because I don't want that wire coming over that hole there. So I've got the wire actually coming out the side of this here. So let's put that back in again. I think that's probably the most important thing on issue 91, because when I have actually fitted the legs before. One of the problems with the legs is one of the wires getting in the way. So as long as you're conscious that you've got wires there, it shouldn't be a problem to get them trained out the way to start off with. So let's get those two in first. As you can see, we've got two in there. I'm going to do the same on this side. And again, I think I'm going to do it so that these wires are definitely being pushed out the way by this little pin here. Push it out the way, just so that when we got it in, it's staying completely away from that hole there. Because the last thing you want to do is bite that when you screw it together, and then you've got the problem of them not working anymore. So this is another 2.3 by 6mm screw. Make sure you line it up, and then that will go in nice and easy. Quite a lot of detail going into this, and as you can see, there's a lot of little components in this little bit of foot here. To say it is just a foot, it's surprising what it actually does. So here comes this one, nice and tight. There we go, and that's that one down. So just make sure these switches still click. They do. And we've got the wires here which are ready to be trained afterwards, looking just like that. Okay, once we've done that and they're in place, we can put this to one side just for a second, because we're going to be bringing over the caster. Now for the caster, we obviously need the wheel, we need a bolt, we need a little split screw there, we need a washer, and this time they provide, if I can get it out, a little spanner so we can do this up with. So this should be nice and easy, shouldn't it? Okay, what we're going to do is, first off, we're going to put the caster in the inside. As you can see, the caster here has got a little hexagonal bolt sort of thing already built onto it here, but that's going to fit into the indent in that section there. So you need to put that in and make sure that then that's going to be fitting absolutely flush, which you just did there. You'll feel it clicking, so it's absolutely flat to that. So you've got that. Once we've done that, on top of that, we're going to be putting a washer. So we put the washer on, bang, just like that. Then we've got a little split washer, which looks just like this, but obviously with a splitting. That one on, and then we go put the bolt on. The bolt nut. How many years have I had this channel and I'm still getting it wrong? Okay, so once that's on, we get to tighten it up with the spanner they provided. Now, I could be downstairs getting my socket set for this, but I won't do that. I'll just tighten this up, and then we'll show you what that looks like when that's completed. And there we go. That's the bolt on, completely tight there. And as you can see, the caster in the middle there, allowed to go round quite freely. That was a nice easy bit, wasn't it? That was fitting the caster all the way up to step 6. Now we're going to start putting all this together. So this is going to be assembling the foot part 2, because part 1's just showing you all laid out. And I could lay it out just like they have there. But you get the idea. We've got some bits here as well that we need from the other issue, which is the bumper bar. We need the little bar for that, which is there. And then we're going to need these other two little plastic bits, which I'm just going to tip out there. That one there and that one there. So I can chuck them away now. Let's get this together. Okay, first thing we want to do, as you can see, we've got this metal little thing here, which is a bracket for the front foot. We're going to be putting all of these wires, gather them all up, because they're going to go through this hole just here. Don't worry too much about how much goes through at the moment, because we can always change that afterwards. Make sure there's no tangles though, definitely. Okay, because once we've got that in place, we're going to start putting these together with the first of these foot sections. Now, the first section they're using on this is the left-hand side of the foot, which is BP59, it says there. And you can always differentiate it because just look at these screw holes here compared to the screw holes on that one there. That's how you can differentiate it. But that's basically going to be going in this one here. And then when we put this down, we're going to be training these wires just through this section here. So it's coming out of the hole at the top, and basically it's fitted on the right hand side of this, not the left hand, the right hand, because once we've got this in place, just like this, whoops, turn it over, we're going to be putting the bracket on there. I'm making sure it's not pinched so that it's still free to pull these through when I need to afterwards, as you can see there. Okay, but we need to bolt this bit down now. Now this is secured down with 2 times 6mm self-tapping screws. Now these are the ones that look like those ones we had before. They're just slightly thinner. And there's only 2 of these that we need to put in. And they're going in here and here. So let's get them in now. Here's the first one. They are thinner than the normal 2.3 by 6mm screws, just so you know. So that'll ensure you're not putting the wrong ones in. And here's the second one here. At the moment, things are going good. So I'm not too worried at the moment. I say that, and then look, the screw came off there. I'm just using a different screwdriver for this, because I do like the R2-D2 one for this. Nice and tight. Ooh. So that is secure in place. There we go. And we can still, as you can see, push these wires through, no problems whatsoever. So there's not going to be a problem with that. Okay, right, once we've done that, the next stage we're going to do is we're going to be putting some little details that we had just in these sides here. Show you on this camera, and here. And those little details are these things here and here. Now they just got little hooks on them basically, so we can just hook them over the top. So you've got one here, which goes in there like that, and then the other one goes in the other side. To be honest with you, I can't see any reason why they need to be different ways. They're called BP60 and BP60. They're the same piece, so it doesn't matter which one you use on either side. But when you got them, it's pretty hard to show. They're going to look like that on the side. Okay, so that was step all the way up to step 8. Now step 9, we're going to be putting the bumper bar on. So this is the bumper bar here. Show you on that. We're going to have a little lead that's going all the way, a little rod there, which is going through here, which adds as a hinge. Get that last one in, come on. Push. Get in there, just like that. And then this bumper bar is going to be fitting into this little, oh, what is it? It's a hole, if you like. Probably best on the top camera for that. Just into there like this. So then this is going to be sitting just on the outside. Oh, that didn't go in. Let's try that again. There you go. And as you can see, it stays up by itself there, looking just like that. And at the moment, obviously, it'll be spring-loaded when the switch is behind it. But if you look for the top camera there, down, you can see how that's mounted. Oops, just in like that. So that was step 11. Now, step 12, we're going to be putting this top piece on there. Now, the top piece, pretty simple. It's going to be going over these 2 notches here. I want to make sure that these wires are out the way when this goes together. So it needs to be like that. But we have got to be conscious that this little hole here is going to meet this metal rod just there for the bumper bar. So let's put this one on. This should go on quite easily. I can't think why it wouldn't. There we go. And when that's together, as you can see, it's going to fit flush there. The bumper bar's free to move there. And it's going to fit flush at the back. But we need to keep all of this together now. So we're going to be securing these in 6 places. Probably best on the top camera here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is all going to be put together with 2.3 by 6mm screws. Now you can see why they've sent so many of them. So best to have a magnetic screwdriver for this, because these holes are quite far down. So we put them all the way down the holes and get these screwed in. So I'm putting the first one in now, and we're going to be repeating this 6 times. So at the moment, I've not had a struggle. And I know everyone's been telling me, oh, you're going to have a struggle with this one. I do like this screwdriver that came with this. I don't know what issue this one came in. Originally, they sent out one of these screwdrivers, but it wasn't magnetised. This one is. So perhaps that was about 20 issues ago, I think. I can't remember. Last one in. Nice and tight. And they are now all in. Okay, what we're going to need to do now is we're going to be putting the base of this onto the base of this. And what we're going to do is, as we put it on, we're going to be pushing these wires through so there's no wire slack, and we need to make sure that these switches go behind the bumper bar, just like that. So I'm pushing that through, and that's fit perfectly. So now, as you can see, we've got the spring loading on the bumper bar there, and this is going to be held in place by 4 screws. Now the 4 screws that go in here are 2.3 by 6mm screws again. God, we use this for everything, don't we? So I'm going to hold that just in place there, so you can see it on one of these cameras, probably that one there. And we'll get these 4 screws in. And then I'm guessing that's the bottom foot completed. Now you can see the importance of making sure that those wires are out the way, because you'd have to get all of that apart again now to start moving the wires. It's quite interesting as well how much the thing weighs now just for that little foot. I don't know if they mentioned it at the start of the build, how much this thing is actually going to weigh. I can imagine quite a bit. I think I'm going to need some sort of reinforced wall shelf if I'm going to put it on a wall. So let's get that one in. And we've got one more to put in. Another 2.3, and then we get to start the fun with the leg. So what I'll do is, once this is in and I've showed you what this looks like, I'll cut away and we'll get some cameras set up so this looks absolutely perfect. But as you can see there, probably on the top camera, that is that foot now completed. Okay, we've almost finished that. I thought we had, but basically all these screw holes that we had here, we now need to fill up all of those holes that we got here. So I'm just going to get these little bungs out and we'll get the holes done. Now, all of these are exactly the same, except for you've got some angled pieces here, which are going to go into the ones that are angled on the side. I'm going to show you that on this camera here. So we put that in, make sure it's rotated right, and then just push it down, like that. Lovely jubbly. And then we've got this single one here, which is going to go, which is sort of like flat, which I need something to just push that in with. There we go, and that one's gone in perfect. That took a bit of doing. And then we've got 2 here which are just on an angle. They've got a little angle to them. Make sure you put them in the right way, obviously. So we're going to have this one here, just going on like that. Nice and perfect. 3 more to fill. This is quite a relaxing bit, this is. If you get to this stage and you haven't ripped your hair out, you know you're doing good. There's the second one. Third one, the angles go up the different way. There's the third one, and last but not least, just break this off the sprue. You can trim these down with sprue cutters just to make the cut a little bit more neater. Oops, I put that in slightly wrong. I'll have to fix that one afterwards. But there we go, that's that one in there. And now, that's that bit completed. So we can now put this to one side. Where should we put this? We'll put this at the back, and I'll get the camera set up because we're going to be fitting the legs now. Okay, probably best on the top camera. We've got 2 legs here, and we're going to be putting this lovely wire tidy on them. Now, when we do this, we're going to be putting all of these wires together, just like that. And I'll see if I can still do my old-fashioned way of doing that, which was basically to, let's turn it around so it's easier to work with. It's up to you how you do this, to be honest with you, but the way I find is if you start wrapping it round, just like this. I have showed this in a previous video as well. Sort of like opening it up, just to get it hooked and started. That's the hard bit, I guess. Just like that, and then wrap it round a couple of times, just so that you know it's in place. Just like that. And if you get yourself a screwdriver, and then sort of like put it down the thing so it's nice and flat, and then when you let it go, it should start wrapping itself around, as you can see. As you can see, I put the first plastic wire on, which is keeping these together, and I've taken a picture of how the wires need to be, although one's just moved there, that's it. Taken a picture of how the wires need to be when we attach it to the legs. They all need to be coming from the bottom, even the black one. If they're coming from any other direction, this isn't going to fit onto the frame unit at all, and you're going to have problems. So we need to repeat this for the other side. Okay, and that's the second one to do. The other thing to note, when we actually put these in, I'm just going to push that black wire right down into there, so it is going to be coming from the bottom, is not to have this plastic going too far into here, because we do need the flexibility of here to be able to push these wires so that they don't get in the way when we actually put it into the frame. But now we've got that wire tidy on, we are ready to bring the frame up and get this put on. So let's do that now. Okay, we're now ready to put the first leg on. Now, to make sure you've got the right length for the right thing, obviously these power little cords here need to be facing this way, not the way with the sensors that you can see on the back here. They need to be facing this way. So this leg will be the left-hand side leg. So all we do is we push this in here, and we make sure those wires haven't moved from where we just discussed earlier, that they need to be, make sure that you've got them completely out of the way of the unit, and then it should fit flush into the unit. Just putting that over. Might help if you have a screwdriver in there as well, just to keep the wires trained. Now, I've taken a picture of it as well, but you know you've got them trained because it should fit perfectly flush just in the unit, just like that. Okay, and then all we need to do is just bolt this in. So I'm going to put some screws in this. I'm going to put one screw in it and just give you another look at what this looks like, and then we'll get the other leg on. There we go, we've got one screw in, so I'm just going to continue now putting the other 3 screws in. And I said the most important thing, make sure you haven't pinched that little black wire, because if you have, A, you're not going to get the screws in, B, you've got a danger of going through that little black wire with the screw. If that happens, I'm guessing what that controls, I believe that's the sensor. Is that the sensor or is that the motor? I can't remember. Well, something's not going to work if you go through the wire. So we'll put the 3rd one in. And these should go in quite freely. They shouldn't take any resistance at all when you put them in as well. So that's that one in. And then last but not least, let's get the 4th one in. And then what we'll do, I'll get the other leg on exactly the same way. Oops. And then I'll show you what that looks like when it's completed. There we go, and that's what that looks like when it is absolutely completed with the legs on. Just like that. Pretty impressive, huh? I'm having to hold it up at the moment with a Terminator head, because we haven't attached the front foot yet. Okay, now we've got that done, the one other thing we've got to do is just do a little bit more wire tidy, and that is on each leg. We've just got to put them through these holes, just in the units here and here, as you can see. So I'll get these put in now. That's the black lead through, and an orange lead, and another orangey kind of lead, and that's everything. This will just keep all the wires in one place, coming out of the leg and down one side, just like that. We're going to do the same on the other side. Again, there's 3 wires to put through, so the black, an orange, and a bluey, blacky, orangey kind of wire. Actually, this is probably the most fiddliest bit of it. Getting these in, it's twisting the wires a little bit, but once they're in and looking tidy, the last thing we've got to do, there we go, they're in. So that looks perfect. The last thing we've got to do, if I just lay this down just like that so you can see, is put the ends in here. Now, they gave us a tool to do that, so I'm going to put this on the floor for a second while I just show you the tool that they gave us. It's this little black thing, and basically all we're going to be doing is putting this rod, as you can see here, in here just like that, and then we're going to secure it with a 2.3 by 6mm screw. No, 2.3 by 8mm, sorry. It's one of the longer ones, not the usual one. This is the longer one here, and we're just going to put that in the end there. And it's going to be quite a tight fit, but if you hold it tight enough without stabbing yourself, making you bleed, I'm looking at you, Mike Anderson. There we go, and then that's in. And then this is going to enable us to put these 2 bits in here, just into the side. So once again, I'm going to bring up the actual unit and try and get it in a position where you can see it. Probably best, let's have a look, that way. And then all we're going to do is we're going to put this in here, just like that, and then it's going to be turned to the right. Did I say right? I meant left. As long as it's locked in, that's not coming out. So put it in whatever way you need to put it in to make sure it's not coming out. So we do the same on this side as well. Trying to get it in a position where you can see it. So again, I'll lock this in, oops, just like that. Get our little tool and turn it so it's locked in. So that's not coming out either. And then those 2 bits in just like that. And then the last bits we've got to do are to put the base plate on. Now for that, we're going to need to turn this whole thing upside down, just like that. Tidy some of these wires up that are falling all over the place. I think that's probably a big thing on this, getting the wires all tidied up. Now, I think you can just about see on both cameras. I'm going to turn one camera slightly up a bit, because this is where we're going to be putting the base plate on. Now we're going to be fitting the bottom panel here. Now the way round it goes, if this is orientated this with the power leads, this plate is going to be going on with this bit just at the back here. But what we need to do is we need to feed these wires through just the holes at the top here to make sure they're not going to be tangled up when we actually secure this down. So once we've got that on, which we have now, it's going to fit nice and flush. We just line up the holes, which are they're pretty much all lined up there. And you just make sure you've got no pinched wires, which I haven't. Just looking around, can't see any pinched wires at all. Okay, so once the plate's on and you've got it in the right direction, so basically the charging port is going to be to the front of the unit, we're going to actually secure this down. Now you've got two screws in the back that you should already have put on because you did that in one of the last issues. All the rest of them are going to be, oh, let's have a look, 2.5 by 6mm normal screws, not countersunk ones. So let's get them in now. I have to say I'm quite tempted to put countersunk ones in now we've got them, but I haven't got many of them and I need that for the next step. So let's get all of these in. These are going in absolutely perfectly, so not going to have a problem here, I don't think. There's two more left to put in. And I have to say, peeps, you told me this was going to be challenging. I don't think it has been. Actually, the challenging bit is doing loads of edits to make sure I've got camera angles for you guys. But it looks good, doesn't it? As a matter of fact, I haven't really had a chance to have a good look at it while I've been building it, so I just want to get it built first. So, and then the last thing we're going to put in is the front foot. Now the front foot, we've got to put the wires through just this bit here, making sure that the bumper bar, this bit here, is going to be facing this way. So let's put that in now. So we'll have that in just like that, making sure there's no pinched wires, and it should fit perfectly flush in there just like that. Once we've done that, we need to hold that tightly because we need to turn the whole thing upside down, just like that. And now I'm going to make sure you can see this on one camera here. Okay, sorry I had to cut them because I need to show you, now this is coming from the bottom there, we need to put in 4 screws, here, here, here and here, and these are 2.5 by 6mm countersunk screws. So we need 4 of those in there now. I'm going to make sure that I've got a screwdriver that can actually probably use my longer R2 one here, and I think only one of my cameras is going to be able to pick this up. But we'll get these in because I'm going to have to go all the way through the top here, and we get that screwed in. So here's the first one, and that's going in absolutely perfectly. It does help to hold it up from the bottom, to be honest with you, with your fingers, and then we can get the others. Should be able to go in pretty easy. So here's this one. That's number 2 in. 2 more. Remember, these are the countersunk screws, they're not normal screws. I really don't know if you can see this, but I'm putting them in. Perhaps I'll cut to show you a picture here of what these actually look like when they're in. There we go, and they're all in. And here's a picture just to show you the screws that I was working on there, because I am conscious that was quite hard to see then. So that's what that was looking like there. But now they're all in, and that's attached. That is the R2 done in all its glory. And once again, I'm going to show you some footage of my phone for that. Looking pretty good, huh? There's the screws that I did before, that you saw in the picture just down there. But that is looking pretty impressive, don't you think? How cool is that? And now I get to look at it. I'm telling you, that is something else. I'm chuffed with that. What we got in the next issue? Oh yeah, the next issue we're talking about batteries. So yeah, we don't need that. Can forget about issue 91 now. I don't think that was too difficult. I think if you haven't put the wire tidy straight away for the legs, I can see you're having a problem. I think there was quite a lot of workload in that one. That's why the video is so long. But yeah, it looks really good. I'm just hoping now that when we get this thing powered up, all the powers and motors and stuff are working. So I hope you bear with me and stuck with that. If you look at this, if you can see that on camera, look how many spare screws and stuff I've got. Don't know if I'm going to be using those in the next issue, who knows. But anyway, look, I hope you're as impressed as I am. That's a great build this is, I'm telling you. And there's only like, I don't know, 9 issues left, isn't it? So there you go. Anyway, hope you like that video. Take care.